proactively, and by not acting expeditiously is we are literally forcing them. And that's why I'm asking for the people who sit on this commission not to look at what has happened in the past, but to look at what is being proposed. And is what is being proposed, is it in the best interests of the environment for the community? And putting a sewer in my mind, is probably one of the safest things you can do. Now, the only thing we as a government have to do is to make sure that what is put in is perceived as fair and as equitable. But we can't do that unless we have the necessary information to determine what is going to be.
And I'd like to take that a step further, Pat. When you reference the environment, you can also take it a step further and reference the health of the residents as well.
Right.
Because there are two different categories, but basically they're arm in arm when you're talking about this particular subject. And Bev mentioned she had E. coli in her system. I mean, that's dangerous stuff.
Okay, so you want us to, the commission, to send a letter to the town council saying that we're in favor of going
to the mayor and council.
Well, yes.
Because the mayor is in support of this program. And, however, the majority of the council is not. I don't know if they'll perceive a letter from this as a strong arm tactic or not. I'm merely saying that you do have the community's interest at heart. I think it should be brought to the attention of the community that you're in support of the system.
I think
at least the study.
The study,
yes. That's all we're asking to do right now.
It's umpteen times. It doesn't mean we're going to put anything to ground. We're just doing a study. I feel like I was preparing for a test. Well, I'd like to make a...
Well, I don't know. We did it once before too. So
yes.
I mean, when this came up, we get original resolution.
Yeah, let's just let's make a motion to reaffirm our original position that we believe as a commission that it's in the best interest of the town's environment that the MUA be able to go ahead and do your study.
And in the draft, in the draft of this correspondence to the mayor and council, I would like to see if it can be proactively worded in an urgency / importance manner so that it acts as a little bit of a push to get this study on board, not just a polite, oh, well, we discussed it, you need to consider it. You need something behind it with a little bit of force, I think.
I have asked that this issue be placed on the agenda at our next meeting. And barring any problems with sequencing this, it should appear at on the agenda at our next meeting.
So you have a motion and you need a second?
I second.
Okay, so Dale Edwards, this is Doreen's motion, and Dale Disney seconded. Any further discussion before a roll call vote? Okay, then Doreen Edwards,
Yes.
Dale Disney,
Yes.
Rich Carson,
Yes.
Ed Nitch,
Yes.
Beverly Budd.
Yes.
So to clarify the motion, you are directing me to write a letter to the Township Council, and they'll have it before their next meeting, to reaffirm your original recommendation to go forward in an expeditious manner in doing the sewer expansion study.
Yes.
Yes.
For all the reasons you stated.
Correct, but there's got to be some proactive momentum behind it so that it's not just taken as a letter that gets put in a round file and,
Well, we can only state that in the letter, Rich.
I understand that.
Well, what we have is our highest concerns from the environmental commission that points out the sense of urgency.
Okay.
Besides, what we've learned to know about Black Creek and the wetlands down there, being
And so you know, when we started sending effluent to the plant in Hardiston, they're to send water back to the plant in McAfee, the infiltration beds. Since we're only sending half of what we're supposed to send to the plant, they're only sending half of what they're supposed to send back.
so we're not getting.
We're not getting the full amount because they can't send us more than we're sending them because they have to put it in their other. So once they reach a certain number of gallons, and I think it's 150 some thousand, they have to they actually have a valve. They have to shut off and divert ours back into the Wallkill because they have to maintain the Wallkill. So until we build
Can you
ours,
just clarify that again for the record? This is the first time I'm hearing it.
Yeah, the Wallkill what, river?
until we, that's where they put their water from the plant.
Can you say that all over again? Yeah.
All right, we're supposed to send 400,000 gallons plus or minus
Okay.
to the SCUMA plant in Hardiston,
Okay.
and they're to send us back 220,000.
Okay.
So they're sending back
Roughly
what they're
half.
sending them.
But since we're not sending our full amount down, they cannot send more than we're sending.
Okay.
So they're sending us the percentage they're supposed to send, but it's, 120, 150. Because they have to maintain water, the fluid that's coming in their plant and treated, a certain percentage of that has to go into the Wallkill. Now, the water that goes in the Wallkill, they'll give you a glass, and if you want to drink it, you can, because they guarantee it's good.
And we've been in a drought. Maybe we should last year.
Yeah.
Could be going always.
Yeah.
Here, I've toured those plants.
Was that like Mr. Obama? When he was in Michigan?
Surprisingly, it's probably purer than what you're getting out of your well. It's just the mental thing that they hand you that glass, you really want to drink it.
You know where the originated.
You're putting a lot of faith in people.
I'm
But
not worried about drinking them.
all their water, before we had our infiltration and we were sending them everything went to Wallkill. That's, the plant is located here and the Wallkill River's here. That's,
It might be a good idea if you visit the SCMUA plant too.
we're
That's
going,
a fascinating site.
we're going Friday at 2:00 if you want to join the tour.
Yeah, that is a great site.
Which one, the one in, down in
Hardiston.
McAfee or Hardiston?
Hardiston.
I've been at the one in Hardiston. Was it on construction?
Now, I've been there years ago when it was, the original plant was done. I've never seen the expansion of the
Yeah, I
plant.
was there in the middle of the expansion of the council. It's quite an operation, and so is the facility down in McAfee, pumping station, transfer station.
Chairwoman, would we do that, could we do that individually, or since we don't have a site visit?
All you have to do is get a hold of the plant and set a time and a date that the commission can go.
Yeah.
They're just happy to have people come down and tour their plant. They're proud of that plant.
We could do that.
There's only a few of them here that are going Friday, they can go with you, right?
I don't have a
Is there a problem with that, is what I'm asking?
Not at all.
Where would we go here?
Where you meeting?
I would get a hold of the MUA office, John Skirbo, and ask, because I don't even know if we're meeting here or going there.
How many could go, Jess, before we have a forum? 4?
Well, 4 of you could
Okay.
go.
Well, I have to work, so I wouldn't be going, but.
Right,
Yeah, me too.
exactly.
I'm on medical leave, so I got nothing to do.
But like I said, anytime you want to go, you just call and they'll set up a tour. You're a government official, a commission, no problem getting a tour.
All right, well,
I'd like to join you for that at 2:00.
There's somebody
That's
that
3 of us.
communicated as
would
to
you
where
make
you
There you go.
yes?
Report back.
Yes.
Sure.
Thank you. Okay. All right, so.
I'll go with the recorder if I have to. Yeah, I want you to drink some water when you're there.
Obviously, we are in agreement and we support it, so.
Okay. Thank
If
you.
we can be of any more assistance, please let us know.
Just
We are
You already did.
ready to submit whenever we get the lifting of the
We already
ban.
had a motion and a second and a vote.
So question, is this something at the next town council meeting, do we want a representative from our commission read out loud for the public to hear it as well? Or do we just want to send it to the town council and mayor?
Well, when you send it to the town council, you're asking them to read it and act on it.
Not unless you specifically send it to the clerk and ask that it be entered into the record.
Right, that's what I would, yeah.
And that's an if.
I gave a letter, I went down to Laura and I asked, when can the letter be submitted? She goes, you got 15 minutes. We quickly printed out the letter that we had on the computer. I signed it, made copies, took it to her, want this on meeting's agenda. Not a problem. Which is why when I got up the other night, I said, in addition to the letter that I wrote to, because it was nowheres to be found that I ever sent a
On the
letter.
agenda, that has to come under correspondence. They have to read it.
Didn't hear anything?
That's why I said in addition to, and the reporter from the Herald said, what did you mean in addition to a letter? I said, call your office, you can have a copy.
But you sent the letter as correspondence. It's supposed to be on the agenda. They're supposed to read it.
There is not even an item on the agenda for correspondence, and never has been.
Okay, so there isn't a specific item for correspondence as it has been for years, but if they're requesting that the letter be read at the council meeting,
Council don't have to do it, they independently.
Here's this how we do it.
We'll submit ours, we'll ask for the clerk to read it, okay? We'll do that. Right, Jess?
yes.
Just bring a copy of it.
And if it's not read, one of us will get up and read it.
The other thing I do want to bring to your attention, earlier today I attended a meeting with the District 24 legislators, and at that meeting I raised the question of the gypsy moth spray. I pointed out that Vernon was severely impacted by the gypsy moth last year, and that we are spraying this year, and that our commitment to it is in the area of $108,000, of which we're only going to be reimbursed about $55,000. I did point out to them that I had heard two stories, and perhaps you may know the answer. So much of our property is abutted by state property in Barry Lakes. Originally, I was told that the state was not going to spray. And then I heard possibly they will. In any event, there is a window of time, a window of opportunity to do it. And if they aren't going to do it, I think it's necessary that our legislators bring pressure on this department to do it while it's being done along, within our own
Send the letter
community.
to the state.
And so that we would send it. Now, they're going to get back to me or to the township as regards to whether or not the state is going to spray the abutting lands. If they're not, then I'm going to personally raise the issue and ask that our legislators bring as much pressure to bear as they can to have it done. I'm sure they'll do it without my request, but also that the township council take a position on it and let their feelings be known. Basically, we can spray in Vernon, but from what I understand, there are an awful lot of caterpillars that were invading from the other areas last year after that defoliation.
Pat, last month, this commission sent a letter to the state and to the state park requesting that very same thing.
Great.
If the council followed up on it, that would be great.
Okay?
Would you like a copy of that letter?
Please, that would be great. Thank you.
Could we do that, Jess?
Sure, please, I can send it to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm going to pass out now.
Thank you.
We have a resolution
I caught that too.
proposing the logging on public lands in Vernon Township.
You gotta catch it.
I want to pass everybody a copy of this out. Is this something I spoke to Jesse about.
Is this the one, like, similar to the Spartan Mountain?
Yes,
Okay.
just to protect
It's
Vernon.
very similar, but I made minor
We
changes.
made it specifically for Vernon Township.
Before the,
Can I ask something, please? Since our previous mayor is here still, and before he leaves, can we talk about the environmental commissioner's terms first?
It's on the agenda, I think it's
That's
last.
okay? Yeah.
It's last.
Let me do this first, and then we'll. Nick, would you stay? So we can get,
Okay, thank you.
all right. This is important, and I'm gonna, at the next, I want to let you know that at the next council meeting, I would ask anyone interested in coming, I'm going to read this out loud. And if it's good and you like it tonight, if we can pass it as a resolution, I'm going to ask the township council to pass it as a resolution and to become an ordinance. Can I do that? Okay. Well, I guess you can just read it yourselves, okay?
Yeah, thanks. I like that.
let's do that.
This is similar to the one that you,
It is, because the whereas gives.
They all have copies. It's essentially exactly the same as the one that you adopted for Sparta Mountain, but it removes the language for Sparta Mountain and it replaces Vernon Town. That's all.
Perfect.
so this is a proactive approach
Right.
to the
But we do have Sparta Mountain in here
Yes.
as a reference.
I'm sorry?
We do have Sparta Mountain in here as a reference.
Where?
about 10 paragraphs
Tell me I left
down.
one out. Well, this is just for your review.
5 from the bottom.
You have to sign. Oh, I missed one.
That's okay, Jess, right
That's
here.
okay, that's what we're here for.
But we do have,
Another set of eyes.
Vernon
I
Township,
just have to remove Sparta Mountain, that's all. I don't have to get it.
because we have our endangered species, and I know all of them
Yeah.
that are.
Yeah, I thought I took them all out. There's still one in there. I'm sorry.
That's
Tried
fine.
to be as good as I could.
That's okay.
Too many whereas.
There always is. There always is. All right, Jessica, we just took that one section out.
Yeah.
This is good.
Then I'll have to get together with you to have you sign it. Shoot, I thought I did it.
It's all right. Jesse, I write things all the time, and I can't proof my own stuff.
Is there an official description of what logging means?
Webster has one in the dictionary.
Yeah. What is it? That's
Not
it.
being facetious.
No, I don't think you are.
Well,
Does it say a certain amount of?
if you go and look at the Senate bill,
I was making a modification through Jesse
Okay.
regarding the Sparta Mountain Wildlife Management Area.
Oh, man.
they call it forest stewardship.
It's harvesting is what it is.
Basically, an environmental engineer, that's your problem.
Somebody with a paper company is doing it.
Look at Kansas State Road.
Jess, Ed should make a copy for you to make corrections from. He'll give it to you.
Yeah, you want to make some
Yeah,
corrections?
Ed is gonna do it. He'll give it to you.
Yeah, I'm gonna reread it.
Forest
Take it out
stewardship.
any place where it says Sparta Mountain. Did you find more than one, Ed?
No, I found just one.
Just at the end where it says, the January 3rd, 2013 Heritage
Well,
Database Report. I want to make sure that covers
yeah,
this also.
the reason why it's in quotes is because it actually appears in a lot of documentation
Yes.
regarding this Sparta
I
Wildlife
believe it
Management.
does,
Okay.
because I checked that
Forest stewardship
Okay,
is
just to make
what
sure.
they consider.
I think it does too.
That's what they
Calling
call
it
it.
logging, they're calling it stewardship.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what they call leaving 5 trees per acre.
Did everybody get a chance to look it over? There's just a couple small changes. And with those couple small changes, could I ask ask for a motion to accept this resolution,
Make a motion with the changes.
the changes.
Yeah,
Sorry,
I
Rich
second
Carson?
with the changes.
Rich Carson
Yes.
and Dale Disney, right? Okay. Logging with corrections. Okay, any further discussion?
I don't know, I just feel like I would really like a definition of logging. I mean, I don't want anybody to misinterpret this and say,
Logging means clear cutting.
I know, but if I do 10 trees, am I logging? Or am I doing, say I have a tract.
More or less, logging is for commercial. And what they're doing in Sparta Mountain is kind of hidden, but it is commercial because they're getting money back from somebody that wants the trees, that wants to sell those trees to somebody that wants them
So
out.
commercial is the key.
Or lumber,
Profit made off of the taking of trees.
Well, you have tree farms where they plant and then they sell, they cut down the trees for
Doreen,
Christmas
that's
trees.
private. This addresses public land. so-
Okay, well, I just want to make
We
it
could also
clear.
use the word deforestation if you want to.
But the legislation doesn't use the word
Okay.
deforestation, so I wouldn't.
Okay,
As Dale said, logging refers to commercial.
that's right. No, I
Taking
agree.
down trees for sale.
I agree.
But it does not impact private tree farms.
Yes.
Sort of thing.
Yeah, I would like to see 5 up from the bottom on page 1 to read, whereas the Natural Heritage Report lists 41 wildlife species listed as state endangered, threatened, or of special concern at the Sparta Mountain Wildlife Management Area and may also impact similar lands in Vernon Township.
Well, this resolution really eliminates part of all.
Well, I understand, but
we did this
I wanna-
resolution we did this resolution
Right.
for Sparta Mountain already.
I wanted to leave in the 41 wildlife species because that was documented fact. So leaving Sparta Mountain Wildlife in there as a reference point, to me, is okay.
Well, that's up to you, yeah.
Yeah.
Or I could research
Yes,
specifically what number
yes.
pertains to Vernon.
And I think we have Ed just as much, because I know for the pipeline, we
Right.
did that.
Yeah.
Absolutely, because I think we have more endangered species here than they do at Sparta Mountain, so that's important. Jess, would you mind doing that?
No, I don't mind at all.
That would be perfect, and including the red-shouldered hawk. Absolutely, which is one of the most endangered species,
What is that?
the red-shouldered hawk.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
Which we have to do in brown for the scenic byway.
Yeah. Okay, do I have a motion? Do we have a motion on the floor?
Yeah, there was a motion, there was second.
Well, wait, there was a motion and a second,
Yes.
and then we had further discussion. So did you resolve Ed's question?
We did.
yeah, I think so, yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna just research what Vernon says. All right. If there's no further discussion, I'll take a roll call vote.
Okay, thank you, Jess.
Doreen Edwards,
Yes,
Dale Disney,
Yes.
Richard Carson,
Yes.
Ed Nitch,
Yes.
and Beverly Buzz.
Yes. And after this is complete, I'll have Josie send each of us a copy, and I will go before the council at the next meeting and read this out loud and ask them to accept this.
As an ordinance.
Absolutely, because this is really important. Now is the time where everything that we really stand for, we have to really stand for it. Physically. I know I do.
stand up and be counted.
I believe as long as it's good for the people, protect this town, anybody who doesn't agree with it, it's a shame on them.
But you're asking them to take a proactive approach on something.
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah. Remember, we've got Hamburg Mountain, and we got the
Correct.
property that,
Audubon.
Perfect.
Audubon,
Right.
has.
Absolutely, that's another scary situation,
Yeah,
considering who's driving this other project.
right.
Okay, environmental commission terms, I'm gonna send,
I gave everyone.
oh, okay, perfect.
get ready to give
Now,
myself.
Dory, you want to ask maybe about this?
Well, I just wanted the
just
record
put it
straight.
all
I'd like to know for certain what is going on with this, because I've addressed the town council twice, and I've gotten no firm answer.
Oh, no. I don't think I get it with a copy of that. No.
Terry, do you have?
Okay.
Yeah, I have
I never
everything
seen
on board.
Okay.
So, looking at Environmental Commission enabling legislation, state legislation, NJSA 40-56A, originally passed in 1968, amended 1972, 75, and 1989. It talks about 40-56A-1, commission appointment, term vacancies. And it states, the governing body of any municipality may by ordinance establish an environmental commission for the protection, development, or use of natural resources, including water resources located within its territorial limits. The commission shall consist of not less than 5 nor more than 7 members, appointed by the mayor of the municipality, of whom shall be a member of the municipal planning board, and all of whom shall be residents of the municipality. The member shall serve without compensation except hereafter provided. And it goes on to state that the mayor of the municipality shall designate one of the members to serve as chairman and presiding officer of the commission. The terms of office for the first commissioners, and that's being when it first started, shall be for 1, 2, or 3 years, to be designated by the mayor in making his appointment, so that the terms of approximately 1/3 of the members will expire each year. And their successors shall be appointed for terms of 3 years or until the appointment and qualification of their successors. So, and they're talking about alternates, whatever. So, when I was appointed in let's see, 2014.
Yes.
And my term does expire. It doesn't matter when in 2014 I was appointed. It goes year to year. So my term does expire in 2016 as a regular commission member. Now, Dale, do you know when you were appointed? What year?
Last year, 2015,
2015. And
Yep.
you were appointed as a regular member.
as a regular member.
Okay. Rich, what about yourself?
I was appointed,
2015.
15, back in
November
November.
23rd.
As a regular member or alternate or what?
Regular member.
Regular member. And what about you, Ed?
I was appointed by Mayor Murata in
2014.
Okay. As a,
2015, as an alternate.
okay. And Bev, yourself?
2014,
Actually, that was a reappointment. You were
right,
appointed before that
right,
by the previous administration.
right.
So a reappointment, does that bring that out?
That's
Additional
right.
time?
You were appointed in 10. I
11.
nominated you as the chairman in 14, or 11, and I nominated you as the chairman in 14, which was a renewal of your appointment.
Let the
You should
record,
be serving until the end of 2017.
let the record show that that's former Mayor Mr. Murata speaking.
The record recognizes my voice, Dory.
Sure, but
Here's,
let's, I don't want to.
Can I just interrupt for just a
Sure, go
second? You're reviewing what should be. You are aware that the former township clerk, Susan Nelson, printed a listing of the members of the Environmental Commission showing that their terms ended all at the end of 2016. You know that, do you not?
Yes, it's on the website.
Very good. Well, cut to the quick, folks. That's exactly what this administration wants. So they're not going to do a thing about it, and the only way you're going to change it is to sue them, which means they have to fund an attorney for you. You have to start a lawsuit to force them to do what the law requires. It's the only way you're going to address the issue. You can talk to them all you want. It's already been tried. So, and they're just sitting back going, yeah, okay. Thinking that since it says 16, all of you will be gone, and they'll be able to make their appointments as they see fit.
which is not unusual of anybody who's in authority or power. But in this particular case, I'm telling you straight out, you have only one choice to straighten this out, and that is to start suit. So I suggest to you that you find it, if you want to do that, you find an attorney and you start that suit. And believe me when I tell you, they must fund the lawyer. The township must pay for the lawyer, okay? If there's any concern on any of your parts that you would personally be responsible for it, that is not the case. When you serve in public, whether it's elected or whether it's as a volunteer, you are not personally liable for any action you take that is in the interest or of the township or in the interest of upholding statute. So, without a whole lot of discussion, you need to decide if you want to change this. You can stand up at the public session of every town council meeting, Doreen, from now until the end of 2016, and you'll be asking the same question and you'll be getting the same answer. The only way you're going to stop it is to file a suit.
Class action?
No, it doesn't be class action. Environmental Commission of Vernon Township versus the Township Council of Vernon Township. Because we read the statute clearly.
Right.
They refuse to, in fact, enforce the statutes. A little bit about New Jersey Constitution. A lot of people don't understand this. Municipal governments in New Jersey are nothing more than divisions or departments of the state government, period. If you read the New Jersey Constitution, we have no authority that is not given to us as a municipal government that doesn't come directly from the state. That's exactly why we must live by their statutes. We must draw our ordinances so that they are not in contravention of the statutes. And they can tell us through their various departments exactly how we have to do business, whether it's tax collection, whether it's tax assessment, whether it's building code. Every single one of the responsibilities of the municipal government is really nothing more than a department of the state government, the state of New Jersey. And if this municipal government does not uphold the statutes of the state of New Jersey, I assure you it'll be a very quick lawsuit. If you get the right lawyer who doesn't try to bleed you to death, it'll be a very quick lawsuit because the judge is going to look at it and go, here's the statute, and you must live by it. So Vernon, straighten it out.
One comment, though, as their secretary, I already sent a letter to the mayor, clerk, and council and told them exactly this. And they never responded, they never addressed it.
They're not going to, Jesse.
So you don't think they should say, we'd like this resolved by such and such, or they should just do it?
Listen, I'll leave that up to the purview. I'm not giving advice here as to how to go about doing it. I'm telling you what the statutes are, and I'm telling you what the responsibility of the town council is, and I'm telling you, in my opinion, what is the only course of action that will achieve what's on this paper and take care of the issue of everybody being dismissed at the end of the 16.
Furthermore, now that I'm remembering, I even got up at a council meeting, and some of you may remember this. I got up at a council meeting, and I said it publicly at a council meeting. I said, you have the terms of the Environmental Commission members and the Historic Preservation Commission members incorrect.
That's right.
Because they also had all of the Historic Preservation Commissioners ending in December 2016. And I said that is not the case because you appointed 5 members to the Historic Preservation Commission last year.
Yep.
And they get 4-year terms.
That's correct.
So they corrected the Historic Preservation Commission after I told them that, but they did not correct the Environmental Commission. And furthermore, let me ask you another question. If they appoint someone to replace somebody else's unfulfilled term, does that new appointee only serve until that original person's term ends?
Yes.
Well, they appointed Ron DuPont, and they gave him an extra year.
They cannot do that.
They just arbitrarily gave him an extra year.
They cannot do that.
See, that's my problem.
The mayor can though, right?
No.
No, because the NLUS did.
The only authority or the only responsibility that the mayor has in any of these things is to make the determination as to who is going to be appointed to a given seat, whether it's a member of the Environmental Commission, whether it's a member of the Historical Preservation Commission. That's it. Under our form of government, it takes, in most cases, an appointment by the mayor and advice and consent of the council. In other words, a majority vote to approve that appointment. Not all of them, but most of them.
Well, it says it right here. The mayor or governing body of the municipality may remove any member of the commission for cause on written charges served upon the member and after a hearing thereon at which the member shall be entitled to be heard in person or by counsel. A vacancy on the commission occurring otherwise than by expiration of a term shall be filled for the unexpired term
Right.
in the same manner as an original.
There you go. I didn't even realize that. But I want to point out, Gail, in case you don't understand or don't know, I'm not saying that in a condescending manner. Just as Vic said, the mayor can only appoint the people, but he has to follow state statute.
Okay.
And these are in the municipal land use laws. That's statewide.
Municipal
land
code. Right. Municipal code, not land use law.
code too, but MLUL as well.
Well, but it doesn't apply to the Environmental
Okay,
Commission.
okay.
And you're right about the
But the town code
land
also
use.
says,
Yeah, town code applies to what we're talking about here.
Right.
And the town code, if you read it, reflects virtually word for word state statute.
right, right,
State
exactly.
statute.
I have a question, if I may. Mayor, when you were mayor,
Yes,
when a website item was changed,
Mhm.
or had to be changed,
right.
a work order had to be submitted to
No.
the webmaster, or
No.
was it done in-house?
No. We have a webmaster, okay? The way it was set up when I was the mayor, okay, was that the webmaster was, it was communicated to the webmaster as to who had the authority to make a change in a specific area. Example, when the Recreation and Community Development Department wanted to advertise or change or talk about a change in the cost or whatever, Missy Wheatrock would call the webmaster or write to the, email to the webmaster, and then I would get a email back from the webmaster. Okay, does this have your approval?
A confirmation.
Confirmation, yes. And it was the same way down the line. The major contributor to the web is the municipal clerk. Okay? And in those cases, I frankly did not ask to have a confirmation come back because, in all candor, the municipal clerk doesn't report to the mayor in this form of government. He or she has to deal with the mayor administratively as to salary and paper goods or whatever their needs are. But in terms of the running of the office, actually the appointment of the clerk and the running of the office is strictly the purview of the council. And the mayor has no authority or ability to impact on that at all.
My letter was signed by the clerk.
Your letter of appointment.
The letters of appointment you said were inaccurate.
I appointed you.
Yes, you did. But the letter confirming, and I had it
No.
up to the other day because I brought it
The
in.
letter of confirmation would come from her. Because once the vote, and that's right, once the vote was taken by the town council, it's the clerk who then has to communicate to you.
And if the clerk made an error on that
Yeah,
letter,
yeah.
then
Well, we had a clerk who made lots of errors, including December 13th of 2015, including exposing
So two clerks
all
made
of the
errors.
social security number of every one of the employees. So,
And last night, the council spent another $20,000 for LifeLock to
yeah,
protect those employees
Yeah.
for that offer that Sally Rinker filed
Mhm.
and gave copies to Gene Murphy of.
yeah,
I want to expand on this, this email situation, not to drag us out all night
it's all right,
long,
but
but these expiration terms of somewhere between 2016 and 18, at some point on that website, those dates were listed correctly.
yeah, they were.
who said that?
I'm telling you,
Oh, they
I
were?
saw them myself.
You mean they just changed? They changed.
It
Wow.
changed when Mrs.
It
Nelson.
changed January, February, right?
No. They changed in 2015.
Oh, they did.
And it was when it was one of the things that Mrs. Nelson did that was wrong again. And because I didn't get confirmation on what the clerk was doing, and in all candor, I didn't read the website every day. I had other
Of course
things
not.
to do.
Nobody would expect you to.
No, but I'm being a bit facetious.
I understand.
But the point I'm making to you is, once that happened and the administration changed, this new administration saw the opportunity to go, aha, you know.
Which leads me to my point. Just as the Hillary Clinton situation where emails are all of a sudden not available,
Yep.
I'm wondering if Ms. Nelson's emails are still available on a server somewhere.
They should be. I know how to get them. David Ragnetti, who was our IT man. Is he still the IT man here?
Well, you just put in an Oprah, don't you? Catch it.
You can put it in Oprah. Go ahead.
You could put in an Oprah, but I put in an Oprah for email, and the clerk, Lauren Kirkman, told me that I had to provide her with the subject
Okay,
line.
without getting
of
off
the
the
Oprah.
subject here, I don't mean to interrupt you. That information is available on the computer archives, okay? And the person who was responsible for seeing to that happening is David Ragnetti, our IT man. I don't know if he still is. Jesse's speaking to an issue of will the clerk give you it if you ask
Right,
for
because
Oprah,
if
but
you're saying he could Oprah it,
that's not what Ed asked. What
Oh.
Ed wanted to know is, are those things available?
right, okay.
If you couldn't get it from David Ragnetti, okay, the webmaster also has the handles.
But the webmaster's not going to give it to him. Sorry, okay.
There's always a trail, is what I'm saying. Just like
Right.
There's two trails, that's what I'm trying to get. One is the person who is the webmaster, who's outside the government, and the other is David Ragnetti. Those are in the files. They're in the computer files here. Whoever has access to them can give it to you.
To be honest, I don't recall seeing the website back when you guys were appointed. It didn't occur to me to check it.
What I was saying is before the appointment,
Right,
those terms were listed properly.
Correct.
right, yes. Before the
Yeah,
appointments,
I'd
the
be
terms were
interested to know,
listed
but
properly.
I know when the town council approved mine, the expiration date was correct.
There you go.
December 31st, 2016. So,
There you go.
I can't fight.
Hopefully I've
No,
answered
the
your
letter
question.
that he received said that he was just appointed this year.
Were you appointed to an unfulfilled term?
I guess, I didn't know.
I believe you were. And I'm trying to think about who it was that left us. One,
Kathy McCartney.
that's who it was.
Yeah.
That's why you're 2016.
Right.
You were appointed to an unexpired term.
Right,
Okay?
yeah.
Any further
But you've got Rich Carson, Ed Nitch, Angie Metler. You know, they were just appointed.
Angie,
They're all-
Angie should be, yeah. Angie should. was
Look, there's no
about 3
question
years.
in what I told you. If you want to change, you can stand
I
and
just
talk.
find this very troubling, that's all.
Troubling.
You can't let it go. I mean, this is the law.
Right.
So I guess my last question would be, is this something I contact the clerk with? David directly?
You can if you want. Look, one of the things that I know from my years in government is that you try every avenue you can first before you jump to the court. Because what happens when you go before the judge is the judge says things like, well, Mr. Nitch, did you communicate with the clerk? Mrs. Buds, did you talk to the mayor? Mr. Disney, did you have a conversation with the council?
Right.
You understand? The judge asks those kind of questions, and if the answer is no, instead of making a decision, he says, go back and talk to your government.
Well, I
Okay.
did, as their secretary,
Okay,
verbally
I'm not saying
and
that you didn't.
email.
I'm trying to, so that people
Just
understand how it
saying
works.
how it'll play
Yes,
out.
how it works. So to answer your question, Ed, the smart thing to do is what Jesse just said. Write the letter. Go before the council, which you've done, Doreen. How many times now? I've seen you twice at least. attempt in every way, shape, and form, write to the mayor, okay, about the fact that his appointment, the appointments that he's responsible for making are not laid out properly in the website or in the grid that's used by the government to make appointments. It needs to be changed and addressed. Try every one of those things.
And they don't even comment, they just look at you.
That's fine. If they don't, when you go before the judge and he asks you those questions, your lawyer says, Judge, we did this on this date, we did this on this date, we did this on this date, we did this on this date. No answer, refuse to abide by the law. The statute needs to be upheld.
They don't write it in any of the town meetings when you get up and speak like that. You just get the paper to write it. That gives the record everything.
Well, again, you're right, but you're talking there about political pressure. I'm talking to you now about what you have to do if you really want to get it changed.
Right.
If the governing body and the mayor refuses to change it, and so far, we're in May, okay, and nothing has happened, it's not like it takes a whole lot.
And I spent a
several
lot
of
of
us were
time
at
putting
that
this together.
That's right, one more.
I spent a lot of time researching who was appointed when, who's term,
That's right, we'll write a letter, we'll CC Eric
I
Overmeyer.
could do that if you'd like.
Absolutely.
Eric Overmeyer.
CC all the papers if you're going to do it,
Yeah.
all of them. You have to do that.
Okay, I could
Pointing
say
out
this is
that-
my third
Yes,
request to have the record corrected.
yes.
Okay.
I would suggest
I
this
mean, I
letter
can
doesn't say
understand
have the
why
record.
people don't-
I would suggest this letter say, we in the Environmental Commission demand that the governing body abide by the statutes of New Jersey
You got
and
it.
repair
Yeah.
the erroneous
You're right.
dates
Yeah.
of the terms of our members.
They're
You
just
asked 3
basically.
times,
Yeah.
okay? It's time to demand.
Okay.
Yeah, say it that way. I won't say a word. Maybe
That
they'll
they
forget.
uphold the state
State
statute.
statutes.
And quote it,
That's
whatever
what
the
you're telling
statute
me
is.
to do, that's what I
That's
would
what I would
Send
do.
it to the Sterling
I don't
Ledger
want to
as well.
cost the town money, you know, even if they have to fund us a third, I don't
You know what?
want
It's
Doreen,
gonna cost the
Doreen,
town money.
listen to me, please.
Somebody else.
But they don't
Nobody
seem
wants
to
to cost the
care.
town money, okay?
They don't seem to care
They
though.
don't care. They don't care. Okay? It's obvious they don't care. And they're betting that you and you and you and you and you and you don't want to cost the town money, so you're not going to fight us.
Well, look what they did to Beverly, for God's sake. They dragged her through the gutter. You know, that whole thing with the rice notice. When I reread the editorial that the Herald did today, and the Herald said, you asked to have a hearing in public, and that's what they should do. And they never did that.
That's right.
They never did that.
The other part that I said, they could say, the mayor or governing board of the municipality may remove any member of the commission for cause. So now, I don't know if the cause is going to mysteriously appear in the air, but on written charges served upon the member, and after a hearing thereon at which the member shall be entitled to be heard in person or by counsel.
Right?
Yeah, for cause has a definition under state statute, by the way. It's not, I don't like the way you part your hair. Okay? It's not certainly what they tried to do to Mrs. Buds. Cause is stealing. Cause is lying.
Right.
Cause is breaking the law knowingly. The cause is defined in the statutes.
I mean, this has nothing to do with environmental commission appointments, but when they...
Then let's have an adjournment and then talk about
Yeah, I
it.
think.
Okay, all
it's
right, but before you do, Diane asked that you discuss those chemicals,
Well, wait,
Tennessee
you
gas.
do the minutes first, Tim.
You have to do the minutes, yes.
Thank you, Mr. Morano.
I'll just pass these out,
I think.
and everybody can just review them.
Well, everyone has
them
it
already, so they should have
I'll
read
pass
them.
these papers. For
I
Diane.
just don't like all this heck's going on.
I get it.
Oh, the what? Oh, yeah.
There's lots of us to go.
Here, here. This one.
Thank you for opening the meeting to make me feel.
Thank you.
It's my pleasure to be here.
I know I'm preaching to the choir here, but when the minutes are sent, it makes life a lot easier if you just read them
Oh,
then,
yeah.
so that you don't have to take time to do them when you get here.
I've already read them.
I know. That's why I said I'm preaching to the choir. Good night.
Thanks, Rick. I'm okay with the minute.
Don't forget to take your dessert in. Okay. You know, when I get my minutes from the land use board, I immediately read them. And then I decide, yes, I'm gonna vote yes, or I'm not. Then I don't have to go back to revisit it. But I know sometimes, like, the Historic Preservation Commission has like a 10-minute pause in the meeting so that they read the minutes.
Is there another page?
You know. There should be 3 pages, and quite frankly, I don't understand the need for the page with the photo in it.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, I don't understand it. I think it's just,
She's talking about.
Where did it come from?
it took me a while looking at it, wondering what it was she
She's
wanted
referring
me
to the
see.
left side of the
I think it's
page.
just that little, public
So
notice
what else
on
did
the
the
bottom
Herald,
left.
what else did the Herald say? Did they say anything else
I'm
about
sorry?
it? They just talked about the rights notice? They did? I didn't know what he was in there today.
No, in the original editorial,
It was not
where it
yesterday?
pretty much criticized the council for doing it the way they did. It said you requested it done at a public hearing,
Yes.
which they were obligated to do, and they never did that.
What was there anything in today's paper about it? At the meeting last night, was there anything in today's paper about it?
You'd have to ask Mr. Nitch that, I left.
Oh, okay. No, I know that they went after me, and I talked to the reporter today.
Yeah, they discussed it yet again last night.
Yes, they brought up an ordinance from 2013 and compared it to the,
Yeah, the no-net.
Exactly, and I talked to him about that.
2015.
Yeah.
And the supposed, well, we'll get to that later. Let's finish this meeting.
Let's get this.
Yeah.
That's where we at.
So you've read the minutes, you need a
I've read the
motion and a second.
Motion to approve the minutes.
I second it.
Okay, any further discussion on the minutes? Roll call vote, Doreen Edwards,
Yes.
Dale Disney,
Yes.
Richard Carson?
Abstain.
Yes, because you were absent. Okay, Ed Nitch,
I will abstain because I left. at
because you left
7:30.
early, and Beverly Buzz?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries.
Any commissioner comments?
I have a headache.
Executive Commissioner's comment.
The pollen is really high every time.
Environmental Commission, what do you recommend?
I'll just leave it for next time.
I don't have anything.
Okay, well, I would like to propose that we take,
Usually, council, usually the president goes last.
oh, I'm so sorry.
Would you like to go first or second or third?
I'll go last.
If you have very important things to say.
Yes, go ahead.
You have to listen to the rest of us.
Rich?
I think what former Mayor Murata mentioned a short while ago regarding the legal pursuit of our terms, so to speak, is valid and warrants some very serious and expeditious consideration by us as a group. Other than that, now I know I was absent the last meeting. I'm sorry. Unfortunately, I underwent some knee surgery. I got injured at work, and I was just not able to make it. But I would like to know if it's possible to get some of this information that is given out tonight, at least maybe 3 or 4 days in advance, so I can at least sit down and read it rather than just hurry through everything like I had to do this evening.
What do you mean, what
Well,
information?
exactly like with the resolution, other things that were brought up.
The applications I can't, Rich.
Well,
That's a problem. I have one.
it's a big problem.
I get it in the mail. I'll come down 3 times throughout the month and they're just waiting for me at the mail. I can't, there's no way for me to copy that. Jesse, how would I do that?
It's a
sorry,
problem
what is the
for
The applications, how could they see these before?
You can't.
I didn't think so.
At one time, the land use office used to give separate applications to each member of the committees,
Yes.
but in order to save the applicants money, they no longer do that. So is he referring to photocopying the applications?
We're just letting her review
Yeah,
them.
well,
That's
Let's
just like
review.
the maps?
Not just the maps, but the land use, the Borsiak,
the
applications, Robert Baldwin, some other additional information about the National Weather Activity Center.
Well,
I
the
just
thing I
like to do
suggest, and
that.
I don't know how this would go, but the Environmental Commission does have a mailbox. They can't photocopy the maps for you,
Mhm.
but maybe they could do the actual documentation and put it in the Environmental Commission mailbox, I don't know. But then that would require you coming and picking it up.
With each of our names on it?
Yeah, I'd have to have names on it, because I
Yeah.
didn't get the master copy of it.
Is there a key required to get
No.
it out of the
But it
mail?
has to, once again, you can't take all the mail, you have to take the mail that would have your name on it.
Sure.
It's just gonna, if that's gonna require me to, listen,
Yeah,
we can't
that's
even
what I
get,
said, I don't know
guys,
how
we
that
can't even
works.
get the dates right.
Who can?
You think they're gonna set up special,
Oh.
I don't know if they're gonna do that.
Oh, I see
I
what
could
you're
ask
talking
it though. But,
I think it's important so that, from my perspective, I can make an informed decision without having to do it on the fly. And it's a legitimate concern to
I
me.
gotcha.
Well, maybe they could have one box somewhere
Well,
for
we
the
have-
Environmental Commission members.
Yeah, we have the box, but if I get the mail, and
That's your mail,
Right.
and you can't expect you to distribute it to all of the members.
All right, let me ask you this. When an applicant puts in the thing to the land use board, how far in advance must they send it to the land use board? They must have a cutoff date. If you don't get it to me by this date, you're
Yeah,
not going
but
to be
that doesn't
heard.
mean the environmental commission gets it done. We get the
No, but
facts.
once it comes in,
Right, you get
I'm
facts.
sure it has the copies. Who does it go to then, after there?
I've had Andy Borisuk for at least 2-3 weeks.
Well,
Again, that doesn't mean Environmental Commission had it.
we
But
have
Kim is very, very good, so I would think that she distributes it promptly.
and just write our name on it. Come on, we're not talking about, reinventing the wheel
Yeah,
here,
but I still
people.
can't discuss it with you guys, even if I get it. So what I could do is I could ask Kim to make copies. Maybe I could ask her to, if people come down and ask her for it.
If you come down and then ask Kim
Kim-
for it, she will.
Kim here.
Yeah, Jim Decker.
Kim Decker, right
Yeah.
here, zoning
So I
office.
would-
Right behind the wall behind you.
I just couldn't get, I can't just.
Understand though, she's not gonna make you copies of maps.
Yeah.
Right.
But the narrative usually explains pretty much what the application is.
But we can't discuss it, so you'd have to take it.
Oh, I
and just
understand that.
Review.
It is, it's so that,
Yeah.
we're, basically, all of us as a group are adequately and professionally prepared
Yeah.
to deal with whatever the subject is at our meeting.
Well, you could discuss it one with another, you just can't discuss it in email and send it to everyone, that you can't do. You could discuss with Rich
Are
what
we allowed to
application.
pre-discuss applications with other members?
Absolutely you can, you just can't do it as a body.
Yeah, but is it fair for 2 members to see it and the rest of them not? Is that okay?
No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is if you find a mechanism
Okay.
for all of you to get it, there's nothing wrong with you saying to Rich, hey, what did you
Okay.
think about this application that came
I
in?
got you.
But you can't discuss it in email. And you can't discuss it when there's a quorum.
Okay.
So, all I would say is maybe if we could draft a letter to Kim Decker saying, would it be acceptable, please, if you can make a copy for so-and-so members, these are the members, just put it in general mailbox when you get it, and they'll pick it up. It's their responsibility to pick
We'll
it up.
pick it up on our own and inform
And
you.
I have an idea.
I mean, as long as
I have a
everything's
mailbox.
legal.
I have a mailbox in the land use office.
Right, but is
I'm sure there must be one empty box that could be a general environmental commission office.
That's a good idea.
All right.
A mailbox.
Okay.
And then you guys, it'll be your responsibility, just like it's my responsibility to come down and pick up my land use board mail,
Right.
to come down and pick up a copy from that mailbox. I could ask her if she could do that.
Okay, as long as it's legal and You know, by
What do we want to pick it up like a week before we
I
have
come
it?
down a week
I would
before.
like to.
I'll come down like 2 days before, and then I'll come down like 2 days before, because stuff does come in last minute. That's
Well,
when,
well, if it comes to the last minute, we're just gonna miss that.
that's why I like things to come in that are on this agenda. I was down here, I made this agenda on Thursday. I had something in there on Friday. On Monday, I came down to get the mail, there was something extra Monday. I'll come down the day, usually the day right before the meeting,
Yeah.
because you never know what's going to happen.
But does that mean then it's going to the land use board? Usually our meeting's first and the land use is the next night. Does that mean they're gonna hear it the next night?
I don't know.
No, can I just be clear here?
Please.
All right, I don't want to say Kim is going to or should, I just try to be clear. All applicants have an obligation to get documentation in 5 days before the hearing. In this case, that would be by Thursday. Anything they need to get to the land use board has to be in by the Thursday preceding the meeting. But she usually gets it well before that, okay? So what I was proposing is I could ask Kim if she has one free box in the land use office. That could be a general box for the Environmental Commission, having nothing to do with Beverly's box as chair. Her box remains the same. This is just a box where Kim would make copies of the narrative portion of the applications and put
Right,
7
we
or 8
understand that, just
of them
want to know the time frame, how far in advance, if I'm an applicant,
Thursday.
That's
by
it.
Thursday before your meeting.
that's all we need to know.
That's all, it's it. So that gives you Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday to review it. That gives you 5 days.
That's a good idea, good idea.
You can't put the onus on Bev and you can't put the onus on Kim.
We're not, we're
No,
just
I know you're
saying.
not. I don't mean you, I'm just saying.
We're just saying,
That's
it's just like
why-
people make a big deal about the littlest things. I'm not saying anybody here, I'm just saying generally in public,
Yeah, no, we know you're not.
It's not reinventing the wheel, it's just make a freaking copy.
I'm not implying that you are, Doreen. I'm just saying
I know.
Kim is very efficient and she's very amenable. I think she might do that.
That would be very nice if
That's
there's ordinances,
yeah.
All
And we're
right.
not talking about a lot of stuff. If we have 2 applications a month, it's a lot, you know?
No, it'd just be very helpful to.
Okay,
I think Ed has to go next.
all right,
Okay.
good. Ed, go ahead.
Do you remember what you wanted to talk
Got the
about?
floor, Ed.
I only have one thing to say, and that's regarding our visitors tonight, regarding the MUA. Regarding their request for an expansion study and our governing body's refusal to move it forward. The information provided by Pat and Ed tonight at tonight's meeting, from an environmental standpoint, the proposed expansion of this system only benefits the environment. It enhances property values, and it promotes sales and purchases. To me, it removes doubt from prospective buyers, their minds, and instills confidence to the homeowners, to the purchasing owners.
Excellent point.
And to me, not moving this forward, anything else is simply pure politics, period. That's all I have to say on the matter.
Not to mention, well, it's not environmental.
It's good.
It's an awful lot of money coming down the pipe with looking this stuff for all of our taxpayers. And more people would leave the town. More our homes are going to ruin. More mice, more rats.
Yeah, I refrained from commenting on costs and things like that, because obviously in the realm of the Environmental Commission, this is an environmental issue. It only helps
That's why I
the
want the
environment.
mice and the rats on.
Right.
There's downfall.
So, I'm on record saying it.
Good, that's good. All right, well, I just wanted to say that we have some great resolutions that we've passed recently, and I'm going to personally take them to the council, and I hope I have your blessing in doing that. The bear baiting, I believe that's important. The one we just passed tonight about the logging, and there's one that we had passed a while ago. It was about fracking, hydraulic fracking waste, using it to spread on the roads to keep the ice out. I know that Pennsylvania and parts of New Jersey, it's been documented that fracking waste, because it's brine and it has a salt base, has been used as a cheap way to de-ice the roads, and it's also a great way to get rid of the fracking waste because it just sits in pools and it's either sprayed into a fine mist and the atmosphere absorbs it, or else they have to find things to do with it. I think selling that brine back to counties, because I know the town is not using it, but county and state roads, we don't know what they're using to de-ice. And I think I had mentioned it was my own fault for not following through. I wanted to get an MSDS of what the county and the state road departments are using for their brine mixture and where it's coming from. I fear that it may be coming from some of it may be coming from the hydrostatic testing water that they're using, and some of the wastewater from fracking. So I don't know that for sure, but we need to find that out. So by bringing that resolution forward, we protect the town from that also. So there's 3 resolutions I'd like to go forward with.
As time was with me to check for a minute, I thought all the articles I read about the fracking said that the companies don't have to disclose what chemicals they're using.
They don't.
So how would you get MSDS?
I just want to know, because the brine is important, because basically I want to know where are they getting the material. What's the base? I don't want 1,000 chemicals. What's the base of their material, and where are they getting it from? Because it is on our roads, Route 94. If you drive by and see these white lines, that is not that's just recently been on there, last 3 to 4 years. You'll see white lines. It starts out in October, November. It's foreign. You don't see that on your town roads, but on your state and your county roads, you'll see it.
So you would think if they are using any of that solution,
yes,
that they would have to densify MSD. It's a different application.
Only if you.
So you would think they would have to do.
Only if it's asked for, and we're going to ask for it, because I want to know, because Gary's brought to my attention constantly. You see a sheen and white on powder on the side of these state and county roads. It's not normal. It's not what we normally see. So something's changed. I don't know what it is, but I do know that in Pennsylvania, they use it all the time. It's a fact.
I just read it. I just read an article.
Yeah, they definitely use it. The fracking waste is used to melt the snow, and that's, even though you're not allowed to dump it, I believe by putting it on the road, you're still getting it to your streams and lakes. So it's so important. That's why that resolution is extremely important. It's protecting our waterways. So there's 3 resolutions. I would ask you all to come, if you can, to the next council meeting. Maybe one of us could each pick one to read into the record. If you'd be willing to do that, I will read the logging. If someone else would read Angie will read the bear baiting. If someone would be willing to read the wastewater, if none of these, I know Diane Webster will do it.
Well, I'd like to see it beforehand.
Well, I think each one of us could read one, because they're a good idea. Yeah, they're all important. And they're all protected burden, and anybody who doesn't understand that.
Well, I don't remember signing that.
You weren't here yet.
Wastewater.
Yeah, you weren't. You weren't. And I'll give you a call.
I'm saying I didn't know. Well, he brings up a good point. Because that's a resolution that you already passed and approved.
Right.
With a prior commission. So should this commission vote on it and reaffirm it?
Yeah, but does that mean once the commission's made a resolution, is it becoming active if the commission changes?
Well, you already did it.
Right.
You already passed the resolution with a prior environmental commission.
Right.
The council has it.
They do.
Never even mentioned
No,
it.
they didn't.
So you might give them the same one.
Oh, we're gonna.
Yeah.
Is that
and say you never took action.
Could you do me a favor? Could you email that resolution to everyone?
Sure.
Maybe all 3 of them?
Yes.
Yes, so we.
I've got like a whole list of things you've directed me to do.
Well, this is important, because
Maybe you should get a raise.
no matter what happens to all of us, does.
I get a raise.
I think it's
Should.
What, an extra 10 cents
Our
an hour?
residents are important, they protect this town.
A point to your MSDS sheet that you were asking for. Would there be MSDS sheets from my work experience is essentially for, the MSDS has to follow a truck, anything carrying bulk liquids, where if there was an accident or
Yeah.
disaster or something, what the cleanup
Yeah.
mitigation would be for that particular vehicle. Is there a mitigation for saltwater?
Well,
That's what I'm wondering. I'm wondering if one even exists for
well,
something
you know,
like
it's
that.
funny you say that. Well, we all know it's not just salt water.
But that's what everybody envisions
Yeah.
it as.
Exactly.
Yeah, but they're not even, the companies are not even bound to disclose what they're shoving into the
Well,
earth.
you know what, the first
So-
step is to find out if,
I mean, it doesn't hurt to ask. But
Right.
yeah.
again, a truck like that carrying 5,000 gallons of some kind of brine.
Liquid.
Yeah, if I light a
Supposed to
match.
have
not
a little
flammable.
thing on the back to say is it flammable, is
Right.
it caustic? Right.
Well, that's your exemptions and waivers. Those fracking companies are exempt from letting you know what exactly they're shooting down in, so we don't really know what's coming back up. But we do know that brine is coming back up,
Which is mind-boggling.
because when they hit the patches of the salt water, and that definitely, and it makes it valuable, that product, that resource, I hate to say it's a resource, it's a byproduct. It makes it valuable because it does melt snow and it melts ice.
I was under the impression that they were shooting an antifreeze type of material down there, antifreeze type of liquid.
No, they're shooting, well, sand, it's a lot of water, it's formaldehyde, it's all fracking, to frack is, I'll send you a copy. Well, I think you know.
No, I'm very familiar with that.
But there's a certain level, when you get down to a certain level, you hit a brine, there's brine down inside of the earth, and that comes back up also, so that's where the value of the product, which is with the salt water, but you're talking radiation.
They put it down right before it deep freeze, it sticks to the road and helps with the first melting
Yeah, but let me say, there's
before
a,
salt trucks.
instead of paying for it, there's a natural byproduct that they're creating by fracking, and that has become valuable. Pennsylvania uses it everywhere. It's just,
It's the Wild Wild West.
yeah,
There's an article real quick about Pennsylvania, it's a Star Ledger. I can't find the date, I think it was just recently though, last Sunday. And it's talking about state investigating earthquakes linked to nearby fracking. They said Pennsylvania is the nation's #2 natural gas producing state. I didn't know that. But until recently, it hadn't had any problems with earthquakes. Now they are. So they are going to be they're going to be looking into it a little bit further. Consulting with seismologists and plans for different to present geological data they have collected in the area during and prior to drilling and stimulation. So the DEP is involved in that. And it just says fracking involves injection of millions of gallons of water along with sand and chemicals at high pressure into a well, shattering the shale rock and freeing the gas.
Yeah, well, they're having the same
Now they
problem
have
with the oil wells in Oklahoma. Oklahoma now
so when
has the highest
brine
amount of
almost come up, was it?
Oklahoma.
Yeah,
Oklahoma.
discussions going on at one time.
Yes.
So anyway,
Thank you, Darlene.
Yeah, the frack, and I figured sooner or later somebody come up with the fracking because that water gets down in there, eventually finds its way by the falls, creates pressure. Pressure's got to go somewhere.
well, they proved in Ohio that it causes earthquakes, and the check.
They just did a thing on it. Oklahoma's is now has more earthquakes in
California.
California.
I know
Not quite as large, but they are causing
And where is this again, Dale?
Oklahoma.
Keep in mind, and you bring up an excellent point, and I'm sure there is a connection. I do remember reading in a science magazine about 20 years ago that also they were making a connection between oil drilling and earthquakes too, because the oil that has been in the earth for billions of years acts as a lubricant for the continental shelf plates. And when you take that out, bam, what happened?
Water.
It's like taking the oil out of your engine. It's going to
Similar to fracking, they put water in there too.
so same thing with your frac.
So anyway, that's why the resolution is so important.
All
So,
right, I'll send everyone copies.
is it, everybody agree that we would do that? I mean, I'm not read the resolutions out loud, at least get them to the council. We took the step to make them, here.
When's the next council meeting? Dave?
Well, it was just last week, last night, so 2 weeks.
Yeah, it was, let's say, 2 weeks.
23rd, I think.
Okay.
All right.
Make a motion, we adjourn?
Yes.
I second that.
I
Any motion, I second
Yes.
any motion.
Aye.
Second.
I'm still hurting, by the way.